mine is simply a goodwill message. And I will be brief about this, and I'll take another turn, another angle to the whole thing. But let me first clarify a few things. One, the theme of the conference, that is Nigeria beyond oil. And when I arrived yesterday, I asked my friend, why this theme at this time? Well, I got different responses, but one of which was that I recollected that last year the conference held in Uyo, an oil-rich state. And this year the conference is holding in Asaba, an oil-rich state capital. And somebody told me maybe they love oil, and they are not very willing to let oil go. But the reality is before us. Whether we like it or not, we are transiting from an oil Nigeria to a non-oil Nigeria. And I think confidently that the theme of this year's conference is very, very apt. I will not talk much about what government does because Labaran has spoken. I will also not talk much about the issues concerning the non-oil Nigeria because the speakers you have lined up, I believe, will do justice to this. More particularly because Alhaji Dangote is a member of the President's Economic Management team. He knows in every breath and detail what the President is doing to turn the economy around, and I believe that in this particular sector, he'll be very well positioned to do justice to it. But let me join the previous speakers to congratulate the Nigerian Guild of Editors for annually providing us with this very important platform. And you should not underestimate the platform for this annual conference. It does not only provide a forum for interaction among journalists, like the theme of this year also signifies. It provides a platform to discuss critical national issues and, if you like, issues of very, very significant national importance. And I want to say that for me, it is a platform that we should not for any reason underestimate. I therefore thank you for the opportunity you have provided me to interact with the esteemed leadership of the Nigerian media and other distinguished Nigerians that are here gathered for the purposes of this conference. I again want to say that I regret the fact that I was not able to make it to the last year's conference in Uyo. I still think that it was an opportunity for me which I cannot recover from. But let me very particularly commend the President for the structure of the conference, for the speakers as selected, for the invitees, and indeed the chairman of the conference. I believe the outcome of this conference will mark the beginning of a greater future for our nation, as this discourse will be the first of its kind in this particular area nationwide. I'm saying this because Delta Beyond Oil had focused on Delta State all along, but I think this is the first forum to openly and publicly discuss Nigeria beyond oil. I am confident, very, very confident too, that as the speakers go on, we will see the real challenge that this situation will throw up. So I will use my opportunity to briefly share my thoughts on the roles of the editor or the roles of the media practitioner, and if you like, because I'm a lawyer, the role of the media practitioners and lawyers in shaping society. And I am focusing principally on the professional calling of these two great professions. And I want to say that all through history, the media practitioners and the lawyers had always been their lot to shape and stimulate thoughts, to plant ideas, to build up ideals, to fashion out a progressive direction for society. And whenever this role is missed, obviously the society will pay for it very dearly. This role is most critical in transitional societies and in transitional times like we are now. Ours is both a transitional society, and the time we are talking about also is a transitional time. If the lawyer and the journalist fail to achieve the role to stimulate thoughts, to plant ideas, to build ideals, and to fashion a progressive direction for society, obviously the entire society will not only pay for it, each and every one of us will pay for it. The transition from oil to non-oil Nigeria is one such time duty calls on us all. I must say at this point that I found the theme of the conference very, very apt at a time like this. As I often reflect on the media, more particularly and other critical professions, maybe in my position as a legal practitioner, as a public servant, and as a citizen, I do appreciate more and more the challenges and the powers of certain professions, in particularly that of the media. I fully understand why such professions deeply anchor its practice on ethics. Those ethics define what the professionals are, what they should do, and how they should do them. We must practice our profession in strict confidence and in strict compliance with those ethics if we must retain the confidence the public should have on us. Oftentimes, our immediate occupational engagements, our personal circumstances or interests may take us away from the core ethics of our professional callings, or even compel us to slant our professional practice. And whenever we do, the society suffers. Example, I believe that the future of any society where lies are sold and bought at the detriment of the truth is starting to be bleak, because a faulty foundation cannot sustain a solid structure. It is therefore no gainsaying that all aspects of media and indeed the legal profession thrive best in a democratic situation. We have never had it so good in Nigeria. We never had democracy as it is today in Nigeria. We have enjoyed greatly free press, freedom of association, and if you like, we have for the first time even found a new freedom. The freedom, if you like, to abuse Mr. President freely. And I think as we enjoy the opportunities provided by this circumstance, we must match it with commensurate obligations to practice our profession with due responsibility in order to be sure that the responsibilities of our professions are the responsibilities our profession owes to our country, to our members, and indeed to our communities is not compromised for anything and for any reason. And this is why the Holy Book tells us that to whom much is given, obviously much is expected. As we look at the future of Nigeria, the greatest role of the editor is that he must remain, or indeed aspire to remain, a true patriot. At all times, we must be men and women of reason and judgment if our professions must retain their pride of place in our society. In Nigeria of 2013 and in the years ahead, our most critical needs will include fostering national unity and peace for sustainable development, deepening the democratic culture, protection of constitutionalism, promotion of human rights, and advancement of political, social, and economic freedoms. These are necessary conditions for national security, national peace, social harmony, and national cohesion. It is only in this mode that we can overcome the challenges ahead. This is the mode this conference must take us to. The conference must anchor members of this profession in this very mode. Today, we are to discuss the challenge of transition from oil Nigeria to non-oil Nigeria. I must state that the challenge this transition will throw up are going to be very, very daunting. However, I believe that the lead speakers will do justice to this. But suffice it to say that what makes Nigeria tick is now found everywhere.